Hello Danganronpa enjoyers! It's been a while since the last ship analysis video, but today I bring you Oumeno Ship Analysis, one of the most requested ship, and coincidentally it's also one of my favorites beside Naikusaba. Now before I get started, you may realize that my upload schedule is a little bit janky this year. That's why you need to subscribe and hit that notification bell in order to get notified when I release a new video. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Well, obviously this ship is from Danganronpa V3. Now most of their interactions in V3 are pretty rough. Kokichi often teases and insults Himiko, and Himiko gets mad at him. And some people might find it adorable, but some people might find it toxic though. We're gonna discuss that later. In Chapter 5's trial, there is an interesting scene between them. We know that Kokichi is dead at this point, but before he died, he left Kaito a note telling him how to act around the rest of the characters. Kaito, following the notes as Kokichi, will tell at some point that he likes Himiko, causing her to blush. Now this scene is definitely kickstarted the ship. So as we all already know, Kokichi is an incredibly childish and obnoxious person who likes to tease others, and Himiko is definitely no exception. Speaking about Himiko, she is lazy, delusional, well, not as delusional as Gundam though, and of course, childish. Now notice these two characters are both childish. You may also notice that these two characters are short as well. This childish short character's aesthetic is undeniably adorable. Now I know their interactions are not the most romantic, let alone the friendliest, but there is a very powerful scene in post-chapter 3 trial. After the trial, Himiko is grieving over the deaths of Angie and Tenko. However, she refuses to be open with her emotions and instead suppress them all, and then Kokichi tells her that she is lying to herself and calls her out on it. He tells her it's bad to lie about your emotions and she should be true to herself. Because of this, Himiko allows herself to cry over her deceased friends, and in later chapters in the game, thanks to Kokichi's action, Himiko is a tougher person and more expressive with her emotions. In conclusion, the relationship is basically chaotic yet adorable. If you want to correct me or add your own analysis, feel free to add them in the comments below, and remember to keep it civil. Well, this ship is basically like a mischievous, hyperactive boy who teases a lazy and clumsy girl, or as I'd like to call it, the embodiment of cuteness itself. Another ship that has this kind of dynamic is Hananine from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. A common headcanon that this ship has is, well, as I said earlier, Kokichi likes to tease the hell out of Himiko, and that usually ends with Himiko blushing heavily. Another common headcanons are they both like to argue about their heights, even though they're really short, and they both like to pull pranks on their classmates, especially Suichi. Now these are only a few headcanons that this ship has. If you have your own headcanons, again, feel free to leave them in the comments. Okay, so it's safe to say that Oumeno is the most popular Kokichi straight ship. Coming from an Oumeno shipper, the Oumeno shipping fandom is quite tame compared to most Kokichi ships fandoms. About the Oumeno fandom, we get a lot of talented artists and fanfic writers who created some of the best arts and fanfics in the Danganronpa community. Back then, a lot of Oumeno artists and Oumeno shippers generally avoided Twitter. They usually use Pixiv or Tumblr to post their Oumeno fan arts or just talk about Oumeno. Because in Twitter and even Instagram, there were some harassment by some Kokichi fans, especially who shipped him with a certain detective They mainly targeted those who ship kokichi with girls, and Oumeno fandom is no exception. But in recent years, starting from late 2021, I was beginning to see a resurgence of Oumeno fandom on Twitter and Instagram, and I think we have finally came to the point where kokichi shippers can coexist with each other, albeit with a few toxic shippers here and there. Oh boy, here we go. The Danganronpa fandom has mixed reactions to this ship, mainly due to some people think that Kokichi's action towards Himiko are unhealthy or even toxic. But I think that Kokichi did all of that to Himiko to make her a stronger and tougher person. As I said earlier, in chapter 3, Kokichi tells her that she is lying to herself, and after that Himiko finally reveals her emotions and grieves over Tenko and Anji's death. But how about all those insults and teases though? Well, a lot of Oumeno shippers see it as playful and childish stuff. For example, Kokichi calls Himiko an ugly girl, and if you want another example, well, just go watch Toilet Bound Hanako-kun and see Hanako and Yoshiro interaction. I did mention them earlier, right? Anyway, I'm a firm believer that Hana Nene is a ship that parallels Oumeno. And as you can see by these fan arts, some people think about it as well. But what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so what do I personally think about this ship? Well, as you may have guessed, I love it. It's one of my OTPs beside Naikusaba. I really love their dynamics and I think they're really cute together. I did say that they're the embodiment of cuteness though. Well, that's it for the Oumeno analysis. I really urge you to leave your own analysis for the ship in the comments below, as well as give me some ships that you want me to analyze next. Hopefully the next video wouldn't take months to make. See you later.